Okay, guys, so Penn State, they are really hitting this 2027 class with Danton Lynn and also Terry Smith. And they get a kid out of South Jersey. They get Karon Caesar, 5'11", 170-pound football player that really has potential, especially like he has potential in special teams. You could see that he has speed, and he really has some talent. That's pretty interesting to work with. So, he's a versatile football player, meaning that he plays on both sides of the ball. He can run routes. He could be a wide receiver. He plays quarterback for this high school in Atco, and it's certainly going to be interesting. He's listed as a defensive back, and there you see him returning kicks, and effortlessly he can glide, he can move, he can scoot. I want to see him play some defensive back, or I'm just trying to think he's definitely going to play specials for sure, but, could he see the field as a cornerback? So you look at him, and he has, again, this is a player that has like decent arm length. This is a guy that, sees the football like in the air really well. Could he possibly like play safety? Could he possibly play corner? Again, like, there, I want to see him get back and show that urgency, but he just, again, he really sees the ball. He's confident with the football in the air. Here you see him playing some press coverage. So I just think like what position is he? What position is going to be really good for him? He could play cornerback, and I want to see if he could do it. At the next level. All right. I want to see, like, again, like, I think he's good at guarding bigger guys. I think he could be physical. I think he could put on some real muscle. Is he going to be able to match guys in the slot? Is he going to be able to, there you see like him put his foot in the ground. And that's the one thing that I just am, just curious about is like with those really little fast twitchy guys, like I want to see his ability to stick with those kind of little guys. And believe it or not, wow, that guy is a fast receiver there on the bottom. But look at him in the air. The football's thrown, and in the air, he's able to flip his hips and find it, which is good. So I think he's going to compete for a corner slot. I think that right now he's going to be somebody that they're going to look at him at slot, like receiver. I think they're going to look at him as a possible receiver because he's, 5'11", and he could be a weapon on offense. But could he play in the back end? Could he play as a safety? Could he play as an outside cornerback? I mean, he has the body to play as an outside cornerback. How will he adjust to the college game? That's going to be the question. I want to see his technique get a little bit better. I want to see the process continue to speed up. All right. But this is somebody who has a high ceiling, and I think that Penn State is interested in the ceiling. James Franklin was also recruiting him for a while, so Virginia Tech was in on him, Syracuse. So, there's some talent, and, South Jersey's very competitive area for these kids and for these players. So, you got somebody that, like, look at him right here. He's the last line of defense, and he pokes the football out. So he's got violent hands. He could swipe at the ball, and he can, use those long arms to go and make plays on the football. So, again, I want to see him lean into this technique. I want to see him recognize the sweep a tiny bit earlier, but does make the guy miss in front of him. makes a play on the football. So it's going to be interesting, man. Like I'm excited for him in this commitment. You know, at the school, like he's staying loyal to the school and he's playing a lot of football. You know, he's playing both sides of the ball, and that's something that's really commendable. So, you know, Karon Caesar, man, you know, he's going to help out in specials immediately. And let's see if he can like add to that DB room. You know, the more I think about it, he probably is going to play defensive back. But he has so much versatility. You can even line him up at Wildcat and play him at quarterback. And you know, he's just a football player. So I'm excited to see how he develops at Penn State.